So with 2016 coming to an end, I kind of wanted to make a video that is something a bit different from me just kind of spouting off ideas for either a deck profile or showing you guys something when it comes to like painting a card or anything like that. I kind of just wanted to chill with you guys for a little while because, in all honesty, YouTube has been a real saviour for me actually this year, and you guys have been awesome. Like almost every comment I've had has been really positive, and I don't want to be gushy about it, but it's really been a massive deal to me. So, I mean, 2016 I think has been hard for a lot of people, and you know, I'm not going to focus on the things that everyone knows about, like various celebrity deaths and things like that, though in all honesty George Michael's death on Christmas Day was actually a massive deal to me, because when I was younger I was raised on his music, and when I was a teenager and I was kind of growing up and I was coming out of the closet as a gay man and things like that, I remember my dad bought me George Michael's autobiography, and I sat and I read it, and you know, it gave me a massively different perspective on his music and the things, the meanings behind some of his songs, and it was very powerful and it really affected me. So to hear that at 52 or 53, whatever his age was at the time, that he's died and I'll never get to see him live was very sad. But there's a lot of that, and I don't want to focus on all the nasty things that happen. I'd much rather focus on kind of the things that I've learned from this year and the experiences that I've gained in order to take forward into 2017, and YouTube is a big part of that for me. And I started this year in America and not in England, and I was in Las Vegas and I was staying there for a long time, and I wish I could have stayed for much longer. I wish I could have dropped everything and just been there, but I had responsibilities and I had to come back to the UK to deal with those. And there were a lot of things in the beginning of the year that I was very, very unhappy about, and I think they're reflected in my YouTube because I wasn't really posting very often. And you know, I apologise for that, because I know that a large portion of my following before Final Fantasy TCG came out came from, you know, the fact that I was painting Yu-Gi-Oh cards, and I stopped doing that for a long time. I do plan to continue doing that, and I do kind of want to open it up to other card games like Magic and, you know, various different things, but I honestly have found it more difficult to find the time to paint those things, because it takes a long time to make those videos, because I spend 2 to 3 hours making one of those cards and videoing at the same time. Then I have to record the commentary over it, which takes another half hour to an hour, and then I have to do the editing, and it does take a very long time. Anyone who makes videos knows that these things take their time. And I want to continue to do it, but I wanted to do it in such a way that I could learn more about how to get them to other people. Like, I tried selling them a couple of times over the course of the year, and I think I did it fairly unsuccessfully, not because people didn't want them, but because I didn't know enough about how to sell them correctly. And I want to do that again once I've learned more how to do that. I may restore an Etsy shop or something like that and make sure that, you know, it's easily accessible, or that people can ask me for commissions better. And I want to go back to doing that, because I know that a large portion of this following that I've gained, as you know, I say it's small comparatively to people like Markiplier and PewDiePie and all these like millions and millions and millions of subscribers people, and it's not. 2,000 people is a lot of people, and you know, I sit there and I'm very, very appreciative of that. And to know that there's people out there who want to watch my videos and the things that I do is crazy to me, because I sit there and I think I'm terribly boring. But in the new year, there's a lot of things that I want to do. I want to continue to do coverage and things like that for the Final Fantasy TCG, because that game honestly has kind of saved me in a lot of ways, because I had a very jaded opinion of card players before I started interacting with players for that game. I was bullied very heavily in a lot of circles. I'm not going to mention names or what games they came from, but I had a lot of bad experiences with a lot of gamers, even though I used to do actually very well in them. And I went to the Square Enix tournament honestly being very nervous and thinking, oh, you know, maybe I shouldn't come, maybe I shouldn't do this, and everyone was absolutely wonderful, and it actually overwhelmed me to the point, I think I said it like 1,000 times when I was covering it at the time, but I really was extremely overwhelmed by it, because I just wasn't expecting everyone to be quite so nice. Walking into a room where people know like who you are without you meeting them is an interesting experience, but honestly, if it gets people talking, that's all that matters to me, because you know I'm just a very social person. I really enjoy meeting new people, and I've always encouraged you guys with these videos, if you want to talk to me or if you want to contact me in any way, then send me a message. I've just discovered, by the way, that private messaging is a thing on YouTube, and actually this shows how noobish I am when it comes to YouTube. I didn't actually know that that was even possible, so I sent links over to the Final Fantasy TCG Facebook pages, my Facebook pages, and that brings me something I want to do in the new year in terms of resolutions, is I want to learn a lot more about social media, because I think it's pretty important that I do at this point. Facebook I know pretty intimately through personal use. Twitter I am absolutely useless with, so if anybody out there wants to help me with Twitter, then I'd very much appreciate it. Instagram is another one, not just for YouTube, but I'm trying to start a business in makeup, because I've been studying that now for about 18 months, and I'm looking to develop my skills on that and go into courses over that over the next year. But I've decided that I didn't really want to do that kind of thing for YouTube, because realistically, if I started posting makeup tutorials on things when people are expecting videos on card games, they'd be like, what the fuck, and then they'd turn off and unsubscribe, or at least that's the impression I get. Feel free to tell me if I'm completely off base. I just would much rather maintain consistency. Anyways, so if you look through some of the videos that I've made over the course of this year, if you go to the start of this video, you can tell that the difference in quality between the start of this year and the end of this year is pretty significant. I learned how to use After Effects, and I learned how to make backgrounds, and I learned how to make backdrops, although I'm actually going to hope to improve these over the next few weeks even, purely because I think that these boards that I use they're nice, but they reflect a lot of light, so there's a lot of kind of texture that I don't want, so I'm going to go and get some sort of fabric backdrop so that I can start putting those up. I started by painting, I think, Gamesiel the Sea Turtle Kaiju was the first painting I did this year, and that got quite a lot of positive response and stuff like that. And then I did a tutorial on how to paint Call of the Haunted, which was at the time the most viewed video I had, and it was really awesome. And then I did another one after it, which was Dark Magician of Chaos, and that got even more views, and I was sitting there going, oh, this is new, I'm not used to this. And then I continued to do more paintings, and I tried a couple of things. Like I wanted to do videos on Smash Bros, because I was doing a lot of tournaments for the Smash Bros at the time. I kind of was traveling around the country, and I played a bit while I was in America, and Bayonetta had come out, and anyone who has watched any of my videos knows how much I love Bayonetta, because if I had her figure I would cosplay Bayonetta, but I don't think I have the boobs for it. But I've been doing videos on that, and I really enjoyed doing those. And then as soon as that had finished, or not long after that finished, it was about October, November, probably October, the Final Fantasy TCG came out, and then I started deciding that I really, as somebody who really loves Final Fantasy as a franchise, I wanted to kind of go into that, and it was just really good fun. And then the videos kind of spoke for themselves, and I used the knowledge that I gained from playing card games into making those, and they just went really, really well. But I mean, in terms of other things that aren't video related, I mean, in video games, I wanted to do more videos on that, but I just haven't been able to have time to kind of work out how that all works. But it's something I'm definitely looking into for 2017. I really wanted to try kind of combining my art skills with Final Fantasy, actually, because one video idea I had, and I thought about doing this as to a Twitch stream, is I wanted to draw some of the photos that Prompto takes throughout Final Fantasy 15, because it's something that's a little bit different, and I've not seen anybody do anything like that. It's almost like a reverse portrait thing, where you're taking a photo and you're drawing portraits of it, and I'm really proud of my portrait art, so I kind of want to share that with you guys and anyone who decides they want to watch it on Twitch or anything like that. So if you kind of want to see anything like that, or if you have any ideas for any videos that you'd like me to start making that perhaps I wouldn't have even thought of, then leave a comment in the comments box, because it's awesome to hear from you guys, like I said earlier, and I keep saying it because I mean it, and I'll try and see if I can fit stuff like that in. But I'm not going to make this video hugely long, because all of my videos are really long nowadays, and I'm sure you guys don't want to hear me prattle on anymore. So I'm just going to say thank you very much for watching and for subscribing if you have, and I hope you have a really, really happy new year and a really good start to 2017. So thank you very much for watching. Bye.